Hello everyone, Richard here with Sirlin Games for another Yomi 2 tutorial video. Yomi 2 is a card battling game that shares a lot of DNA with old school arcade fighting games like Street Fighter. For a more comprehensive look at the core rules of Yomi 2, check out my how to play video at the link in the description below. Yomi 2 has a 1v1 mode, a solo mode, and a co-op mode. In this video, we'll be going over the solo mode. The two-player co-op mode follows the same structure as the solo mode, just with two players fighting the same bot opponent. To set up a solo game, select a character and a gem for yourself as usual. The Road to Morningstar set has 10 characters and 6 gems. For this video, I'll pick Rook with the red gem. For your opening hand, grab the low block, high block, one throw, and your burst attack, and then draw 4 more cards. Next, pick the bot sheet for the bot you'll play against. They are marked with difficulties 1 through 5. Let's start with the Glass Monk. He's got some special abilities listed here, but we'll take a look at those later. The bot starts with a hand size of 9. Use a purple star token to track this. The bot starts with the number of hit points in the heart on the lower left of its sheet. In this case, 90 health. I used the second playmat and the spare heart tokens to track his health here, but you can do this any way you like. The player always goes first. You perform your draw phase and main phase as normal, and then ready your combat card. Remember that since this is the first turn, I'm only going to draw 1 card. Let's go with a trusty fireball attack. To determine the bot's combat opener, we'll roll the 8-sided die, or D8, then reference the bot's sheet. The bot uses the row that corresponds with its current hand size. In this case, Glass Monk has 9 cards, so we'd use this row here. He rolled a 7, so let's look at the 7th column in the 9-card row to find out what move he did. Let's take a closer look at this box and break down what it all means. The top right corner of the card shows the speed of the bot's opener. In this case, his attack is speed 8, which means he outspeeds our fireball. His attack also hits low, but that would only matter if we tried to block. The red number in the center of the box is the damage he'll deal to us, 20. That's a pretty hefty combo, but it will cost him. The -3 number here means that the bot will be spending 3 cards to perform this combo, so that will lower his hand size and also his potential options and damage in future combats. We'll move his hand size down to 6. These letters at the top left of the box are mostly flavor. They give you a sense of what the bot actually did to you to achieve this 20 damage combo. In this case, it was an A, B, C combo with an X special move ender. This number in the circle in the bottom left corner of the box is how much damage the first hit of this combo did. This isn't always useful, but we'll see why it can matter a little later. Be careful not to add this to the number in the center. Now we're done with our turn, and it's the bot's turn. They don't really take a turn or do a main phase though. We can just ready our combat card now. But before we do that, let's take a look at what the Glass Monk might do this turn. Now that his hand size is 6, we notice that he doesn't have any big combos he can do. We see that the fastest attack he can do is speed 7, and it also seems like he wants to block or fire a projectile at us to try to rebuild his hand size. Let's see if we can get away with a big overhead attack. The monk might block, but if he does, he'll likely block low. Our big E attack will punch right through his throw attempt, and we might have a way around one of his attacks too, so let's go for it. We roll the die for the Glass Monk, and yeah, he ended up blocking low. Our attack gets in, and we can perform a combo. Let's do E, F, Thunderclap for 23 damage and 1 super meter. Let's look at the bot's block box. The lower left symbols mean that the bot gets +1 card if it blocks your attack. The lower right symbols mean that they'd get +1 card if they didn't get hit. For example, if we both blocked this turn. The bot can get both of these bonuses during the same combat, which would then increase its hand size by 2. This is all basically the same as when a player blocks an attack, but the symbols help for consistency. We hit him with our E attack, so his hand size will stay the same at 6. Now it's our turn. We draw 2 cards, and we can perform main phase actions as usual. Right now, let's play an Earthquake card to knock the bot down, which ends our main phase. Next, we'll pick a combat card again, but this time, the Glass Monk's options aren't based on his current hand size. We check the bot is knocked down row to see what he's willing to do, and wow, this guy really likes to get up from knockdown with fast, unsafe moves. Usually when you knock down an opponent as Rook, you'd want to swing with one of your big slow attacks. But against this guy, we'll have a better shot if we just try to block his wake-up moves. Let's go with the low block and roll the die. He rolled a 6, which will be the attack we expected. His unsafe on block move runs into our block. We'll take 2 chip damage and then be able to punish with a move of our own. Rook is great at this in particular. Our throws hit hard and knock the opponent down again. The Glass Monk takes 12 damage and is knocked down again by our throw. The Glass Monk has an ability called Mental Break. It says, whenever you hit the bot in 2 consecutive combats where you don't get hit, the bot is mentally broken. This means that in the next combat, the bot will roll his move first and then we get to pick our combat card. That's a decent reward for making some good reads. It's the bot's turn and he rolls a 1, which means he'll be blocking high this turn. Looking at our hand, we don't have anything that really exploits this. None of our attacks hit low, we're out of throws, and it would be folly to attack into a block that we know is coming, so let's just block 2. Our bot opponent got a little lucky there. Since we aren't hitting Glass Monk, he'll gain +1 hand size after this combat, so now he'll be at the 7 hand size row. It's our turn, so we draw 2 cards. Let's power up these Entangling Vines to grab a Head Crush from our discard pile and get 1 super meter. Let's keep pressing the offensive. Looking at the Glass Monk's sheet again, Head Crush, our 12 speed attack, is pretty good against most of what he could do. It'll outspeed all his attacks, hit his throw, and we won't really get punished if he blocks. Let's go with that. We roll the die and darn, the Glass Monk blocked our super. He'll take some chip damage and his hand size will increase by 2 as a result. So now he's at 9 again. Glass Monk's turn, so we're back to combat again. Let's take a look at the Glass Monk's row again and we'll decide on our combat card. A keen-eyed Rook player would notice that everything in this row actually loses to Rook's Z move, Windmill Crusher. This is because throws innately beat blocks and dodges. It's a very fast throw, so it will outspeed the Monk's throw. And there's also a special property about Windmill Crusher that will allow it to win combat even if the Monk attacks. Looking back at the box for the Monk's attack, you'll remember the combo data in the upper left corner of the box. It says that the combo the Glass Monk would do if he landed this hit would start with an A attack, and then he'd combo into a B, a C, and then an X for 20 damage. However, Rook's Windmill Crusher has light armor, meaning that it can power through A, B, and C attacks and still hit the opponent. The number in the bottom left is the first hit damage, and it's relevant here because of how Windmill Crusher works. Rook will take 3 damage and deal 16 to the Glass Monk. Also note that the Glass Monk will not lose 3 cards this time. He got grabbed out of his attack and wasn't able to finish his combo, so he'll stay at 9 cards. The Glass Monk is now below 50% health, so he'll activate his Desperate Supers ability. We won't go too much into what this does right now, but we've got him on the ropes. He'll be much more exploitable from here on out, so it shouldn't be too tough to take him down. There's a few other interactions I didn't cover just yet. One of them is what happens if the bot happens to block one of our unsafe on block moves, like our Red Burst. On the bot's sheet, there is a hit back column. You check the bot's hand size to figure out what to do there. Some of the bot's attacks have an always field. Remember that before, when the bot hit us with a combo, he lowered his hand size by 3. Then, later on, when doing the same move, he didn't adjust his hand size because he didn't get to combo us. However, moves that say always will change their hand size regardless of whether or not they hit, like this move here. And that's all you'll need to play the solo game. Try to keep your hand size and your options high, weigh them against what your bot opponent can do at any moment, and try to exploit each individual opponent's strengths and weaknesses. Surprisingly, this isn't too far off what you'd be doing when playing against actual players. Each matchup in Yomi 2 is rich with interesting quirks and interactions, and these bots have been specially made to not only emulate different types of characters you might face, but also different styles of players as well. It's not just training wheels for the 1v1 PvP game though. The 5 different bot opponents in each core box have a scaling difficulty that should prove a worthy challenge. See if you can beat them all in a row. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the dojo. At the time of this video, Yomi 2 is crowdfunding on GameFound, which is sort of like Kickstarter, and there's a link in the description to that. If you're watching the video later, check out SerlinGames.com.